have great taste, especially with your radio choice. Thank you for spending a little time with Gary and Bristol on Kiss Country 93.7.
Kiss Country 93.7. Apparently, he played Friday and Saturday in Houston. That's Luke Combs there. He shotgunned a beer with the owner of the Texans Saturday night. They said it was huge. Good morning, Kiss Country 93.7. It's Gary and Bristol, and the Olympics are done. 2024 Summer Olympics are over. And, of course, Team USA prevailed, kinda. U.S. and China ended up tied with 40 gold medals each, but USA won the overall medal count 126-91. We had more silvers and bronze medals than anybody. Added 7 more gold Saturday and Sunday. Women's soccer team beat Brazil 1-0. Grabbed their first gold in 12 years. Steph Curry led the men's basketball team to gold. They beat France 98-87. Women's basketball team won their 8th straight Olympic gold. They beat France in a nail-biter yesterday, 67-66. Plus, we won 3 more golds in track and field. 1 in women's cycling. Now, here's the final medal count. Team USA, 40. China, 40. Japan, 20. Australia, 18. And France finished in 5th with 16. Now, the Winter Games are coming up 2026. Those are going to be in Italy. And the next Summer Olympics will be in 2028 in Los Angeles. That's Florida-Georgia line. Get your shine on. Kiss Country 93.7. Good morning, Gary and Bristol. Coming up at 7:15, we're giving away GeekCon tickets with ticket trivia this week. Are you listening for your chance to win those? And, I have been to several events where police have done these DUI simulators where, you kind of like are driving a vehicle under the influence, and it never ends well. But nobody ever had a situation like this. They had a DUI simulation event in New Jersey last week. Sent multiple people to the hospital. Police on the Jersey Shore been running this ride at the event for 20 years, featuring a low-speed golf cart that's rigged up to simulate the experience of a drunk driver. Well, you're not in it alone. A cop actually rides with you, but things somehow went crazy this past week when the cart was being driven by a minor, veered off course, crashed into a crowd of people, hit 4 adults and a kid. Firefighters were already on the scene for the event. They immediately began to treat the injured people. 5 people taken to the hospital. 3 of those since been released. The condition of the other 2 unknown. Police issued a statement calling the accident disconcerting. You think? They said they were sending sincere thoughts and prayers to those injured. Accident is under investigation. Unclear if alcohol was involved. Ba-da-ba.
I'm not sure how I got here.
Thanks for making us part of your morning. Gary and Bristol on Kiss Country 93.
Chris Young Love and Saturday nights, Kiss Country 93.7. Good morning. Gary and Bristol, yes, the kids are getting on the bus now. I don't want to go.
Everybody, it's your first full week.
Yeah. Okay, so Humor and Harmony, 50 Cent over the weekend. And I got to admit, things went a lot smoother than what I would have ever dreamed. Now, I did see on social media a lot of people complaining about the traffic and stuff like that, but when you bring that volume of people into an area not designed for that volume, it doesn't really matter what the police do. It's just going to be a madhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, and I saw somewhere else that, he's already planning one for 2025.
I sure hope that's the case.
What would you say overall would be the report card grade of this event?
Okay, so to be fair, I was up in the middle of it pretty much all weekend long. Now, the daytime activities, I didn't do a lot of the nighttime activities because we were volunteering at the 50 Fit Park, which is where Festival Plaza was. I mean, I'm going to give it a B, and here's the reason why. There was a ton of misinformation out there. They didn't have just like a central person putting out PR. So like for us, it was like military and kids free on certain days, and then the rest of the time it was $10 admission.
Yeah.
Because there was so much misinformation out there, we ended up, really just taking care of people and just saying, you know what, come on.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was probably the case at a couple of the other, attractions, if you will.
Yeah.
Because you had to pay to get into the 50 Fit park to go to the food trucks.
Okay,
well,
gotcha.
if you weren't going to jump, it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm giving it a B. They should have had the food trucks outside of that, so people didn't have to pay for an attraction they weren't going to use to get to the food trucks.
Well, I did talk to the Shreveport police chief the other day, and he said that they're going to be meeting, I think, tomorrow, Tuesday, to discuss, okay, here's what went down, and here's how we can make it better. And I asked him, I said, when you get to go through something like this big, this is like a number of Shreveport events all rolled into one. Mm-hmm. I said, it'll kind of give you some precedent as to how to act for future stuff that might get this big. And he said, yeah. He said, the one thing is, he said, because there's a lot of these bridges we've never crossed before, he said, we really don't know what to expect. So we're having to develop a plan. And he says, and the only way to be able to judge that is when it's over.
Well, what's interesting is I was excited to see that they brought in some experts. We worked really closely with guys named Eddie and Rob, and they're with the company that puts on Jazz Fest in New Orleans. So we're talking about people that are used to moving around 600 acts over 2 different weekends.
Yeah.
So, I think they had a really good grasp on it. And honestly, people were in good moods.
Stick around. Just 15 more minutes. You won't believe what these two are going to do next. It's Gary and Bristol on Kiss Country 93.7.
Zach Brown, man. This is Chicken Fried. Kiss Country 93.7. We're Gary and Bristol. 97 today. 100 tomorrow. 100. Oh. Have you seen the Weather Channel extended forecast till like 2 weeks from now? Every day, 99 to 100 or more, and 0 rain.
Oh.
Remember what your yard used to look like?
It was really green.
Yeah, but back then you couldn't mow it.
Oh, yeah.
So now you can mow anything.
Right, and then they tell you once it gets too dry not to mow because they'll start a fire. Yeah. Oh.
All right, it's ticket trivia time. GeekCon this Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Shreveport Convention Center. And we got some Saturday tickets, a pair of Saturday tickets for you this morning.
All right. If you missed the answer to Friday's ticket trivia question, here it is. On average, we'll say this out loud 3 times every day. What is it? I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I'm worn out. Okay, today's question. People lose this more on a Monday than any other day. Lose what? People lose this more on a Monday than any other day. What is it they lose? 725-5477-725-KISS. Shreveport Bossier's number 1 for new country. It's Kiss Country 93.7. We're Gary and Bristol. Okay, Louisiana hunters, this is the week every year. Time to clean out the freezer.
Ah, yes.
This is when, you've got all the deer and possibly pork and fish and poultry, stuff like that.
All the good stuff.
Properly packaged, dated and everything. Mm-hmm. That if you've got that in your deep freeze and you're ready to start making room for this year's harvest, they ask you to clean out the freezer and donate that to the food bank of Northwest Louisiana to clean out your freezer week. And I want to say that last year, it was a record-breaking year. I want to say like in one day when they made the final donations, like it was almost 22,000 pounds of protein.
So what you're telling me is that this is a big deal for when it comes to people being hungry.
No doubt, yeah. Today through Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day, they have this drive-through at the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana, 285 Mount Zion Road in Shreveport. They've literally got volunteers there. Now, the protein that you're bringing in, whether it's deer or pork, something along those lines, like I said, it's got to be properly packaged. It's got to be frozen. So bring it in your ice chest. They'll take it out of your ice chest, put it in theirs. No, you do not have to leave your ice chest or anything. That's been a concern of people. Oh my God, I don't want to leave my ice chest there. They will take that and they'll make sure that those less fortunate get that again this week for the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana, Mount Zion Road, right off Linwood in Shreveport. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. All the info in your Kiss Country app. Let's help because, without this organization, just think of the other things that these people would have to do without.
Right.
It's Gary and Bristol on Shreveport Bossier's number 1 for new country. Kiss Country 93.7.
Dustin Lynch and Mackenzie Porter. It's Kiss Country 93.7. Think about you. We're Gary and Bristol. That's all we ever do is think about you. It's what you get paid to do is think about you.
Yeah.
And earlier this morning on my way into work, I was hearing Brett Allen that does the third shift. He was talking about this lady at an Applebee's who started giving away her food on her all-you-could-eat order. Went to jail for it. And I was like, oh, I have got to read more on this.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yes. You know, Applebee's has brought back all their all-you-can-eat wings and riblets and shrimp.
Okay.
And apparently, now you know she didn't really believe this, but this is what she said. She said that she thought that the all-you-can-eat didn't just apply to one person.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
28-year-old woman, she's in Chicago. She gets arrested Friday night, seriously, for sharing her all-you-can-eat order with the other people at her table. Shawnisha Cobbs. This Applebee's is in Indiana, just across the border from Chicago. Employee sees her doing it, told her, hey, you can't do that. She told them she thought that the all-you-can-eat meant everyone in your group, and the menu didn't specifically say it was per person. Well, later on, they showed her where it does say per person.
Oh, my
Things
goodness.
escalate when the bill comes. The manager charged them for the multiple all-you-can-eat deals, $16 a head. Police then say Shawnisha was loud and disorderly when they get there. She ignored requests from them and a friend to calm down. Facing charges for disorderly conduct, one of her friends ended up paying the bill after cops showed them right there in the menu's fine print. It did say per person.
I mean, let's be real.
Who doesn't know that when you go into an all-you-can-eat, it's not for the bus? And
Unbelievable.
I have seen some people, though, and they've got to be regulars. Like back in the day when Western Sizzlin' and Ryan's were open, you know that some of those people that walked in, you know, they were regulars, and people look at them and go, oh, no.
Here they
He's
come.
back.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Kill another cow.
Almost as important as your morning coffee. It's Gary and Bristol, only on Kiss Country 93.7.
Shreveport Bossier's number one for new country. It's us, Kiss Country 93.7, your 60-minute music marathon coming up here at 8:30. And, of course, all this week, 7:15 with Ticket Trivia, we're giving away tickets for GeekCon this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Shreveport Convention Center. And some really big names coming in this year. We got Kevin Durant, and all you got to do is look him up on IMDb, and immediately when you see his face, oh, I know who that is.
I mean, we got the voice of Mickey Mouse here this year.
Yeah.
I mean, the folks from E.T.
And, you know, if you're into sports, the sports world, Mr. Cowboy, Bob Lilly is going to be there. Rafael Palmeira is going to be there. We're going to have Jacob Hester and Todd Walker there. This thing is going to be huge. And every morning at 7:15, we got tickets for Saturday at GeekCon. And you and I get to go to GeekCon every year and see all these big stars and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you, it blows me away at how often they're kind of like real people.
They are.
I mean, they're just actors or, you know, voice actors, and they're just nice.
Yeah.
I have been what was the guy's name who plays Shaggy on Scooby-Doo?
Oh my gosh.
Nicest guy ever. I mean, you know,
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, that's him. And I'm thinking to myself, do you know who you are? You don't have to be this nice.
He's still a goofy looking dude.
But so what? If you got any questions, you want to go ahead and get your tickets now, just hop on your Kiss Country app, get all the info. Drew Baldridge, new artist. It's called Somebody's Daughter. She's Somebody's Daughter. Kiss Country 93.7. We are Gary and Bristol. She's somebody's daughter. Mm-hmm. Mama B's little girl.
That's right.
And when you were little, were you accident prone? Were you one of those that was constantly needing a Band-Aid?
You know, I don't remember it like that, but I think I am more as an adult.
We fall down a lot, don't we?
I know, right? And this is such good news, especially like for people with diabetes who have a harder time healing cuts and scrapes and like that. There is a new bandage that's coming out that they say will heal wounds up to 30% faster. And they say it's not electric, okay? But it uses electrical stimulation. So there's like a water bandage, a water component to this. And then it's got an electrode on one side.
Yeah.
And so they use that to stimulate the healing. And they say it's going to be relatively inexpensive as well. So I'm looking forward to this. I mean, you know, maybe it works. It kind of sounds a little woo-woo-woo, but I mean, they say it uses a small biocompatible battery. That's way above my head.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you know, I'm thinking to myself, how do you rewrite the jingle for that? I am on Band-Aid. Because Band-Aid. That was me.
They've tested positive, but not in a good way.
Careful. These two have proven to be highly contagious. It's Gary and Bristol on Kiss Country 93.7.
New country from Old Dominion coming home. Kiss Country 93.7, Gary and Bristol. Of course, it's the first full week back to school for kids, and Mom and Dad are about to already pull their hair out.
See, I don't know. I think they're kind of glad they're back to school.
Well, yes, except for those that have to sit in the car line at school.
Oh, you're right.
And I saw earlier on social media, my buddy Ethan Arbuckle, Rodney's son. Ethan's like, I'd rather sit in the Texas Stadium on tax for a whole day than to have to sit another hour in this car line at North DeSoto. And you know what? I wonder how they pull it off in North DeSoto, because they've got all three campuses. Well, actually four. They've got the lower elementary school, the regular elementary school, the middle school, and the high school all on one campus. And they pull it off somehow. They get everybody in and out. Now, granted, it takes forever.
That's probably some like Chick-fil-A type of maneuvering, right?
Gotta be. And, you know, they've got all these new laws and stuff where, like, little bitty kids have got to be escorted from the car to the, you know, the actual sidewalk over there and stuff like that. But it makes you wonder, who's got the absolute worst car lines of anybody?
Ooh. So you're thinking North DeSoto. I don't know, Benton? That line out on Highway 3,
yeah,
that gets pretty long.
Well, and I've seen, you know, at times, even in the Houghton area, both at the elementary school and the middle school, especially with all the road construction that's going there, 157 and 3220. Yeah. Okay, so tomorrow morning, worst car line of anybody. And you know what? There's only one way around it. Put your kid on a bus. That's the easiest solution.
But baby,
I'm not going to put my
5-year-old.
No. So who's got the worst car line? Which school?
We're going to find out tomorrow morning.
Make sure you get up early with us. And don't forget now, 7:15 ticket trivia. We're giving away more tickets for Saturday's GeekCon coming up this weekend at the Shreveport Convention Center.
It's Gary and Bristol all morning long.
I know you're scared of that cock-a-doodle-doo.
Kiss Country 93.